Tastes like ancient lake bed.
We are standing on the flattest place on the entire planet and the biggest salt flats in the entire world.
The Uyuni Salt Flats here in Bolivia are over 100 times bigger than the Bonneville Salt Flats in the United States and are so massive that they are visible with the naked eye from the International Space Station.
But it has so much more to offer than just the 10 billion pounds of salt. From the bizarre wildlife to hot springs and geysers to the incredibly eerie realization that we are standing directly over as much as 500 feet of briny water just below the thin salt crust.
While we're exploring this area, we have 5 things that we want to see and do here. 1, spot a flamingo.
2, make a margarita with 40,000-year-old salt.
3, photograph the Milky Way.
4, ascend to 16,000 feet or over 3 miles above sea level.
And 5, see the world's largest mirror.
The Uyuni Salt Flats are huge, the largest on the planet actually, and they're also kind of confusing logistically. Like, for example, half the salt flats are actually closed right now because of flooding, but thankfully our tour group kind of totally figured all that stuff out for us.
We just got off of a 9-hour bus ride from La Paz. They gave us our own hotel room for a couple hours, so we were able to take a shower, rest up before the full day's adventure.
And it's a salt room, so this is a salt couch, the bed frame is made out of salt, and the wall is made out of salt. I may or may not have licked it to confirm it was actually made out of salt. And speaking of salt, this is a 3-day tour, and day 1 is dedicated to just seeing all things salt flats. So we're going to take you along for the journey and show you exactly all the highlights of the Uyuni Salt Flats.
The first stop in most Uyuni Salt Flat tours is this train graveyard. So trains operated here from the 1890s until the 1970s. Eventually it got to be too expensive to operate the trains, so they kind of just left them here in this train graveyard. So now it's just kind of a photographer's playground. It's surrounded by mountains and all of this desert, all these derelict trains. It's very, very cool, and we're gonna go take some photos now.
Truth be told, it's kind of amazing that they let you crawl through this sharp and rusty death trap, but good thing for you, we'll do just about anything for a photo. We finally started heading to the salt flats, and our guide told us that only locals from the town of Uyuni are allowed to sell the salt harvested here. So our first stop was to their production facility to show how it's mixed with iodine and packaged for sale.
This entire building is made out of these salt bricks that weigh about 8 pounds of just solid salt. When it rains, the salt actually starts crystallizing and expanding, which makes these like cool rock crystals that are growing out of the wall. Apparently it was super rainy this year, and this is what happened. All of this, like, if you go this way, look at all this like cool joint compound / crystal kingdom that's going on here. It's pretty cool looking.
After seeing how it's processed, we headed out into the flats to see the real deal. And unsurprisingly, all the salt has gotten us kind of thirsty.
So we're from North America and it's summer right now, and normally Jess and I are back in the trailer making margaritas.
We're big margarita drinkers.
We really are, and right now we decided to be pretty far south in South America, and it's winter, and apparently it's gonna get down to -20 tonight. So to give us a feel for back home North America vibes, we are making margaritas.
Out of a can.
Out of a can. But we did bring fancy glassware. Apparently the salt flat was a lake that dried up about 40,000 to 33,000 years ago. So it stands to reason that the salt is around 40,000 years old, and I thought it would be really fun to make a margarita with salt. Normally you like wet the rim with lime juice. I don't have any lime. Maybe I could just like lick it. Is that gross?
It's mega gross.
I feel like this is the most unhygienic margarita ever. Tastes like ancient lake bed.
All of the salt here has like totally crystallized. Every direction is just endless salt, as far as the eye can see.
It's also crazy because we've been driving for like an hour, and it's really hard to appreciate how huge it is until you drive for an hour and all you can see in every direction is just salt. It feels like you could have like a snowball fight.
Eat some.
With
Oh my God, that was the biggest piece ever. That was way too much salt.
It's very salty.
Look at that.
Woo!
You know what's so weird is, so we've been to Bonneville and Atacama Desert, and then we also went to Death Valley. Every single salt flat we've ever been to, it makes like these hexagon patterns, but for some reason, like, this is all just one homogeneous crystal. There's no hexagon patterns.
It's just kind of cool in its own way.
It's pretty surreal how you can drive at highway speeds for hours and see nothing but, well, salt. Except for Fish Island. Named Isla del Pescado in Spanish, this island is at the top of a volcano that pushed its way 100 meters above the lake's surface before the water crystallized over for good. Today, this island is permanently trapped in 360 degrees of thick salt and completely covered in giant 10-meter tall cactuses.
There's just nothing else living around, at least as far as we can see, so it's so cool that there's just this concentration of life right here.
At a glance, it looks like foamy water down below because it's stark white, and you can see these ripples where the salt crust has solidified near the edge of the island, and it almost looks like someone just snapped their fingers and the waves froze in place. It's so crazy that anything exists out here in this literal sea of salt, and then of all the plant life to exist, you've got these incredibly massive cactus. I mean, it's hard to show the scale through the camera, but if you've ever been to Saguaro National Park, these kind of look like these. I think they grow at max a centimeter a year.
Oh, wow.
I know.
So these are some old guys. It is golden hour, meaning it is almost sunset, meaning it is officially boots time. Ready to go. Whew.
Oh my God, the light is so pretty.
Our tour guide brought us Bolivian wine, which I didn't even know that Bolivia made wine, to see the day off. Here's hoping that it's a little bit better than our nasty desert margarita.
Also, can you beat this sunset? So we said at the top of the video that this is the largest salt flats in the world, and that also means at a very particular time when it rains and this entire floodplain is covered in a few inches of water, it becomes the largest mere in the world as well.
We're lucky because usually I think that's typically between February and March. We're visiting in June right now, so we don't have the full, like, not everything is flooded, but we're still getting a very cool mirror effect. This is one of the coolest sunsets I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's so incredibly beautiful. You get to see the reflection of the sunset on the water. It's absolutely stunning. Largest mirror in the world? Well, it's the morning on day 2, and wow, it is frigid here. Our hotel room is freezing. I think it got down to like
-8?
Yeah, -8, and I think our hotel room only felt like it was 0, so just a few degrees warmer than that.
We are going to be seeing some cool volcanic rock formations and hopefully flamingos. This is the winter time now, so apparently they're migrating, so I don't think we're going to see quite as many as we might usually, but fingers crossed we'll be able to check off another thing on our bucket list.
If you're the chill at the beach kind of person, the crazy pace of this tour may not be for you. And to make good time between stops, our drivers pushed these 25-year-old Toyota Land Cruisers to their limits. The day's drive started with a clogged fuel filter, but fortunately we got back on the road pretty quickly. Unfortunately, we only made it a few miles further before another Land Cruiser in our group lost a fight with a pothole.
Oh, they're replacing the tire on that car. Yeah. Yeah, and the fuel filter on our car. We had to stop because we had a clogged fuel filter, and it looks like they're replacing the tire on that car right now. I hope we have better luck because we were headed hours into the middle of the desert. Did you feel the flat tire?
No.
No?
Nobody.
You didn't feel that?
Nobody feel it.
¿Necesitas ayuda, amigo?
Yeah.
¿Sí? ¿Sí?
Está bien.
¿Está bien?
Sí.
The tire on the back of their car is just absolutely shredded.
This road's pretty rough.
This car has half a million kilometers on the odometer.
Wow.
Yeah. They probably should drive a little bit slower too.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he's not really taking potholes very slowly.
We have this phrase that slow is fast because when you go fast and you mess up, it ends up taking a lot longer than if you had just gone slow in the first place.
You weren't lying. That is pretty short.
That's pretty bad. And then over there, our driver is replacing the fuel filter.
So our tour group has a total of 3 cars.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are down for the count right now.
Yeah. Good job, dude. It's pretty amazing how self-sufficient these drivers are, and you kind of have to be out here. We were back on the road within an hour, climbing to pretty high elevations with snow-capped mountains, these very bizarre lava formations, and terrain so cold that the water was starting to freeze over. Speaking of which, that means we needed to hurry to our next destination because its famed residents were quickly departing north for the winter.
So we are in this national park. I don't know if you can see behind me, but there are these mountains that are all different colors. There's this steaming geyser behind me. This landscape is just so ethereal, but we also happen to find flamingos. I think this is like the very tail end of where they're found in Bolivia. I think from here it's winter time, so they're going to fly to Argentina and Chile. So we're very lucky that we actually got to see some here. Flamingos breed and are born here. When they're born, they actually have clear feathers and they turn pink because of different minerals that they eat. There's one that's very, very lightly colored, so I'm wondering if it's a juvenile. A lot of the flamingos have already migrated away to either warmer weather in Argentina and Chile. This entire lake is frozen over, and the flamingos that have remained are actually just kind of eating between this one thin crack. These flamingos are straight up bad. Everyone else has left, and these are the only ones that have remained. So we can officially mark spotting a flamingo off the bucket list.
At this point, we were just minutes away from Bolivia's border with Chile. This is one of the most remote places we've ever been, and as if flamingos weren't weird enough to see in these bizarre looking and crazy isolated lands, on our way to our last stop for the day, we encountered an entire herd of wild chinchillas.
How are they so chill? Hi. Yes, they're so cute.
Truth be told, before this moment, I had no idea what chinchillas look like. My grandma used to have a politically incorrect chinchilla fur coat, but if you had asked me to pick a chinchilla out of a lineup, there is a 0% chance I would have any idea what they look like. I certainly did not know that they lived in Bolivia and are seemingly not very skittish. Very interesting little creatures.
We said goodbye to our new chinchilla friends and then hightailed it to the national park, which isn't just our home for the night, but also one of the most beautiful sunsets we've ever seen.
This has to be one of the most incredible sunsets I've ever seen in my life. Flamingos grazing in the water right next to vacunas. The water looks pink right now, soft yellow on the hills across from the lake. It is just so beautiful.
Our guides were like rushing us to get here, and I was like, oh, surely a sunset spot can't be that good. This is a pretty cool place to see sunset.
So Jess and I are bundled up. It is so cold. It must be like close to freezing. You can see the fog from your breath. We rented some sleeping bags, so hopefully that helps to cut the chill. Our goal is to wake up at midnight because the moon is going to set behind the mountains, and hopefully that'll give us a nice, really beautiful view of the Milky Way. Fingers crossed.
It is midnight. It is absolutely freezing, but we walked outside and the Milky Way stretches across the entire night sky. I'm so excited to try to get some photos. Check this out.
This insanely loud, bubbling, muddy mess behind us is the impressive Sol de Mañana, sitting at 5,000 meters or 16,400 feet or over 3 miles above sea level.
It's even cooler. It's literally an active volcano with bubbling mud pots and steaming geysers.
And despite all of the heat around us, it is freezing cold. It is below freezing. It is just before 7 a.m. And wow, it's like everything about it looks like we're on a different planet. This place would be special for any traveler, but it is extra special for us because it is the highest place we have ever been in our entire lives.
After traveling across Latin America for the last 7 months, I can't imagine a cooler place to ever go here.
But our adventures are not over. Next week, we're headed back to North America to continue RV life in a brand new trailer.
So subscribe to see what our brand new home on wheels is going to be.